What's up guys, how's it going and welcome to the FIFA 17 Newcastle United Career Mode. I'm so excited to be back. I was originally not looking forward to this at all. I put that video up not long ago about me getting a bit sick of FIFA, a bit bored, but I've been away, I've played some other games and now I'm back and I'm so excited to play. On screen now you can see the lineup and the formation I'm going to be going with jumping into this career mode. However, obviously the lineup's going to change when we start to bring some players in. And speaking of bringing players in, I'll go and show you my transfer shortlist right now, starting from the top of the list. And we have a very young goalkeeper who I've heard some very good things about. Lafont. I've heard he can be fantastic, and I heard he also has a decent rating. All of these guys, by the way, are being scouted so that I can get all the information I can. I'm just going to go down the list and show you everyone's stats just like this. I don't have the full reports yet because I haven't simulated through anything, but I'm just scrolling down. I'm showing you all the guys that I've brought up in a quick search for some young players that might have some good potential. I just did my own research and found some players that I was interested in. But we are still on day one of the transfer window, and I also haven't progressed any further because obviously this is the first episode. You guys are seeing it from the start, but this is the list I've already made. There you go. They're going to be the targets, and you know what I'm going to do straight away is someone that I'm very keen on getting, Marcus Rashford. We're approaching to buy straight away. Here we go. I'm straight up going to offer them 6.5 million straight away because I think he could be absolute key to get in this career mode. I mean, you guys know I've played as Manchester United. I did my last career mode with them, my only career mode with them. And Rashford in this game's absolutely amazing. And I think on top of everything else, he's got something like 90 pace, which is ridiculous. Like, any team needs that. Any team could do with that. So he's a definite player that I want to bring in. The next thing we need to go over is our objectives for the season. So the board have come out and said the Emirates FA Cup, we need to reach the round of 16. They said we need to win the Championship League title and we need to sign 4 youth academy players, one being a goalkeeper, one a defender, one a midfielder and one an attacker, which all seems pretty good. That seems very reasonable. And grow 1 youth academy player by 5 overall points, play them in 5 matches as anything. So I can bring them on in the 90th minute, doesn't matter, it still counts, which is fantastic. That's really easy to do. Brand exposure. Sign 1 crucial first team player assigned to a forward position. So if we do bring in Marcus Rashford, done, straight away. In my opinion, for Newcastle, he would be a crucial first team player. Continental success, no objectives, we're not in England. Domestic success, I've already said this, that we need to win the league title and reach the round of 16. And our financial goals. Within 3 seasons, increase your club's worth by 30%, which would be interesting. I'm guessing we just have to win some titles, boost the stature of the club back up to what the great Newcastle United should be. And I guess what everyone still considers it, and everyone thinks it's a bit of a shock that they're down, that I've spoken to, and I personally agree. I think they should be up in that top flight of English football. So that you guys can see where our youth scouts are heading off to form our youth teams. We have one here in England. This guy is located in Germany, and this guy is located in Spain. So hopefully, being in the Premier League, looking around all our leagues in England, looking around the Bundesliga and that in Germany, and looking around La Liga and all their lower leagues in Spain, hopefully we should pop up some brilliant, bright young talents. I guess they don't really search those leagues because they get youth players. But searching those countries, looking for young, brilliant talents that hopefully we can promote through and really bring into this team and might even turn into gems that we can sell on for a bit of cash. Now all we have to do is simulate through to these games. And I'm going to simulate these games because it's pre-season. I really want to get transfers done. Here we go. The sum's too low and they believe he's worth more. Marcus Rashford offer was rejected. We offered 6.5. I'm going to bump that up to 8 and see what they say to 8 because I think around about 8 would be reasonable for him. I must also add on the Rashford front, we will be selling a striker to make room for him and possibly Iheanacho if we manage to raid both Manchester clubs of their young talents. But we are up to the game, so let's get in, let's simulate the first game and see how our results go. Players warming up now. and kickoff is upon us for our first match, even though it's simulated. We're going to skip at the 20th minute. We won 4-1. We smashed it. Brilliant work from the boys here. And one of our defenders getting our first goal of the career mode, which is just quite a different turn, I guess. Normally it's a striker or a midfielder, obviously. But yeah, this time it goes to a defender, which is always good. I believe he's our left back. Yeah, he's our left back. And so there we go. 4-1 in our first game. Brilliant. We now have a transfer offer for Rob Elliott. 30 years old. He's definitely going to be on the way out. I really want his transfer value, so I'm going to reply for that. But, wow, QPR's changed their badge. I just saw that. QPR's changed their badge. I like it, but obviously I didn't recognise it straight away. I had to actually read the name before I recognised that badge, but I don't mind it. But yeah, QPR with a transfer offer. Hopefully they can pay the extra 100k or so that we can sell Rob Elliott for his transfer value. But I'm definitely looking to move him on. We're up to the next game now. Let's get in. Let's simulate this and see if we can replicate our first game's results. Alright, a goal straight away, a penalty. And fantastic from Perez. We're going to skip 3-1, another win. This is going swimmingly, however, I feel like we're definitely going to need to make some changes before I play with this team, because just looking at the team, I'm not 100% confident that me personally playing against a world-class computer is going to be good enough with this team. So I do want to make those changes to the lineup. But I think we're going to be alright this season because the team seems to be doing pretty well against top-flight opponents. Transfer was again rejected for Marcus Rashford. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold off and see how much he gets scouted for, and see what the value they return is, and then we'll be able to approach it with a better idea of what we're going to need to pay. QPR have decided to match the offer for Rob Elliott, so he'll be moving on for 850,000 euros. Yeah, euros. And that's fantastic. That's already one player off the books that we're not going to need this season. Aside from that, I have a lot of other emails. It's just something about international management, which I'm not going to read. We have final scout reports on 4 players here, which is fantastic. I'll go in, I'll have a look at those, and I'll see who I want to look at buying later. We now have an offer from Cardiff City for Ayoze Perez, and I really do think letting him go could be a smart idea, especially if we're to bring in Marcus Rashford. They've offered $1 million above, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and squeeze a little bit more out of them by adding 1,100,000 to that, and really see if we can put the squeeze on them. If not, I'm happy to accept 6 million because I really believe Rashford's gonna take his spot in the starting lineup anyway. It's now time for the third match. Let's get into it and let's try to take all 3 points once again. We have a technical home game, not really home because we're in a different country, but it's classed as our home game. We're going to skip. Oh, Perez has scored though. Skipping at the 20th minute. Perez got a double and Diamane has got 1. And Perez is scoring goals right now, so maybe getting rid of him isn't the greatest idea because I think he's scored in 2 games now. I'm not quite sure. I didn't keep track enough of the goals, but he did well this game, which always makes you think twice about selling the man on. Cardiff City don't think he's worth that much, and I'm going to stop pursuing him, so by that means I will hold on to him, and I might try and sell on one of the other strikers. We have scout reports done for just about every player on our list from the look of this. Yep. Oh, and Rob Elliott has gone, so we have another freed up position on the bench, which is fantastic. But I'm now going to go through all these scout reports, and I'm going to see who else I want to bring in on a transfer, who looks good, who we might wait, who we might leave, who we might forget about altogether. Alright guys, so I've had a look through, and I think I've decided on the players that I want to go for first. And of course, Marcus Rashford. We've already been trying to go for him in this career mode, so we're going to go fourth, and we're going to offer 7 million, which might sound a bit interesting. However, I'm also going to offer up, where is he? Where is he? I can't find him. Mitrovic. Because I feel as though Mitrovic, actually, we're going to offer way less. We're going to offer like 3 million plus Mitrovic. because I feel that Mitrovic has not performed for us so far in the simulated games, and in fairness, he's not my favourite player either. Like, I know some Newcastle fans out there might absolutely love him. I'm not sure how he does for the club at the moment, but I feel like he's a player that I can definitely move on happily. The next player I'm going to try and bring in is this man right here, and he's actually loan listed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get him on a 1-season loan and go a future fee of I'm just gonna put 700,000, because if we can bring in such a young good player as well to back up the likes of Rashford, then fantastic, and especially at that cheap as well. So we're gonna try and bring him in on the season long loan with the future fee as an option. The next player I want to look at bringing in is Lewis Cook. He looks absolutely fantastic. Looking at his stats for a 19-year-old and 71 overall, he's just recently joined his club and probably won't move again. He'll stay on the shortlist, however, because he looks fantastic. Those stats look brilliant, especially for a 19-year-old kid. Next up, Ake. I'm going to consider bringing him in. He's only 21, so we're going to go and we're going to put a bid in for him, because he's definitely a great youngster to bring into the club. And I'm going to have a look quickly and see what left backs we might be able to trade in. Gibson, 19-year-old, 61 overall. He's one for the future, so we can't get rid of him. Here you go. Both of these guys are older but the same rating. However, I feel like they're very good players still. I might offer up Dummett. I'm going to offer up Dummett. His value was like 1.8, and so I'm going to then go and offer 1.5. Hopefully that levels out for around about the right cost and they're happy with that. But yeah, I'll submit that bid. Nathan Ake would be a brilliant addition to this squad. Ascuse, I believe it said, is a fairly sturdy looking centre back. He doesn't have amazing stats in an area, but he looks pretty solid, and for that price of 1.9, he's definitely a player I could consider bringing in, and I'm going to offer just that, the 1.9, and see if Wolfsburg are willing to bite on that, because I definitely think he'd fit into our team quite nicely. This young man right here, Pereira, he's young. He's got some great physical stats. However, his technical stats are not the greatest. However, if we bring him in and loan him out to another club, really get him some game time, get him playing, I really think we could be onto a little gem there, because he looks like if his technical improves just a little bit in a few stats, he could be absolutely amazing. So I'm definitely going to submit a bid for him. He'd be nice to bring in and loan out, maybe play in a season or two. And last but not least, the young kid. We don't really have much information because the staff were too busy, and they couldn't scout him because they were too busy. They were scouting too many other players. But I'm just gonna throw down. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna go and inquire. I don't like inquiring, but I'm gonna inquire. Normally they throw you a inflated price, and if you don't match that, you're not too likely to get him. But we're gonna inquire because he's a great young goalkeeper. I've heard a lot about him. We're up to the semi-finals now in our pre-season competition. Let's get into this. Hopefully we can win another game on the trot. We won the first three. Hopefully we can win this one as well. Another early goal would be fantastic. And we have it. We have another early goal. Let's skip. 3-0. We're through to the final. Now, I'm very much considering playing this final, and a great performance here from the guys. However, I want to really bring in another transfer before I get playing too many matches. Alright, we have a transfer offer from John Joe Shelby here. And he's a crucial player in my team. He's not going anywhere. He's going to be one that the team kind of relies on. Here we go. Oh, they want 8 million for that goalkeeper. That's not what I wanted to see. And we have prize money of 3 million, so that's really going to help our cause. And we now have a press conference, which I'll jump in. I'll do super quick. I'll motivate the boys, get them pumped up. I'm going to leave that transfer offer from them. Well, I guess their response from them there, and we're going to simulate through to the final, which I'm very much considering playing. But we might be able to bring in someone. We can bring in one. We might be able to just sneak one player in. It's the very young lad. He wants 8,000 a week, which is fantastic. We'll give him 5 years. We'll give him sporadic first team player, and hopefully he's happy with that agreement. Wolfsburg have said unacceptable. We want 2.8, and you know what? I'm willing to go 2.5. I'll meet you around about the middle, a bit more to their side. I'm quite happy to pay that. And Sunderland's loan offer to buy. They regret to inform us that they cannot do this. We do not want to loan a player to one of our rivals. Of course, Sunderland are rivals. All right, let's try and buy. Let's submit the bid to buy for 700k, and let's see what happens, because they are our rivals. We will have to overpay, but we're not even in the same league. Cut us some slack. And Rashford's been denied again. They're not interested in the player in the deal. Really, I can't blame you. I'm just going to offer the 8, and I'm going to get rid of Mitrovic out of this offer. Yeah, okay, I just hit square. Going to get rid of him. Going to submit the 8. See what they respond with. And maybe we'll try and sell Mitrovic on individually. Just so you guys can see, right here, I am going to add him to the transfer list. We have a lot of players right now out on loan who I think I'll look to get rid of a couple, definitely, when they come back off their loans, because they won't all be needed at the club, and we should be pretty well set up by the end of the year loans. The short-term loans, they might be able to come back and earn a place, but unless a standout player comes back at the end of a year-long loan, don't think they'll be sticking around too long under our management. It's now time for the final, and unfortunately I'm not going to play this game because we haven't managed to get any signings in, so we're going to jump straight into the final, and hopefully we can manage to win this. An away game, which is always tougher than a home game to simulate in FIFA, and hopefully, we have scored another early goal. Hopefully we can manage to pull out the win here. Oh no. We've gone on to lose 2-1 after scoring first. I guess the disappointment of loss was always going to come around eventually. It's come around a little earlier than I would have liked here, but hey, we still made the final. Still some progress. It's still promising. They're probably in the first division of wherever the hell they're from, but I really think we probably should have won that. Just looking at the team names, I don't think I know anyone on their team. But yeah, unfortunately, our first loss of the career mode. Bournemouth have said they're not interested in the player, and the cash alone's not enough. And again, I feel like Dummett could be sold on individually, so we might offer 3.4 and see whether or not they want to accept that. I am looking to completely overhaul Newcastle because I think they really need a lot of fresh new faces to make a difference. And stepping up into the Premier League, if I can buy some young blokes that have Premier League experience, that's even better. But the board says congrats on reaching the final, going deep in the tournament's great, yada yada yada. Okay, fantastic. Let's get rid of some emails, and then hopefully when we advance we see if we can get any more responses, and hopefully some positive responses from teams about transfers. Brilliant. Our first accepted offer for the young right back. Accept that. Welcome to the club, Pereira. Fantastic. He might be able to go straight out on loan, hopefully get a lot more experience, and really be able to become a crucial player in the future for us. It also looks like we have 2 unaccepted offers. We have 1.2. I'll offer you 1. That sounds fair to me. 1 million for such a young bloke. Oh, and it's from Sunderland again. Of course, they're not going to accept. I completely forgot. 16.5 million for Marcus Rashford. Geez, that's quite a lot. But you know what? I'm going to go 12.8. There's just something about that figure which I feel like, maybe they could accept that, even though they want 4 million more. Maybe there's a chance they could accept that, and he will become a star player in this team. Because of what United want for Marcus Rashford, and I think, that's definitely a bit steep, we're going to go in for these other strikers that we have now as well. We're going to first approach for Manchester City's youngster. And I'm just going to go straight up. Oh, not 19. I'm going to go straight in with a 10 million bid and see what they say to that. Because it does say up the top 10.9 to 13 or so. Should be okay. So I think that might be alright. Young Gray looks good and he looks cheap as well. He looks like he should be alright. However, they say that they do want 6.2 to 6.8. So if we offer 6, hopefully they can come out and they can accept that. And is there one other striker we had to go for? Yes, Thorgan Hazard. That might just be too much. I don't really think we're going to be able to bring him in. Personally, I wouldn't leave Gladbach for Newcastle right now either. So I wouldn't blame him for turning down moves. So we're not going to go forwards for him. So we're now in for, 4 strikers? And surely at least one of those boys can accept an offer to join us at Newcastle. Transfer offer has been rejected for the centre back because they want more. Ascuse, I believe it said, they just want way more than 1.9. Clearly offered 2.5. I might offer them 4. I'll see what they say to 4. Surely 4 should be enough to sway them a little bit more. An offer accepted finally for Nathan Ake, and he wants 25. We'll give him 25. Give him 5 years. I'm going to try and not specify a role. Hopefully they're okay with that. Burnley have accepted the offer. Manchester City have said no, they want 17, so that's not going to happen. And Sunderland have accepted the 1 million offer. So we're going to go in for the Sunderland kid first. He's only 17, which is absolutely amazing to be able to pick up a 17-year-old with that much potential and that already looks fairly good. Would be absolutely amazing for this career mode. And Burnley have accepted the 6 million, and he does want 50, which is a bit high for considering what our budget is. But we're going to offer that kind of contract. No squad role again, 5 years, 50k. Let's see what he says to that. United have accepted the offer for Marcus Rashford, and this is the offer I want to go through no matter what. I'll pay more for Rashford than anyone else. I know a lot of you might be thinking, oh, come on, buddy, buying United players. I did a United career mode. I know it kind of sucks, but I feel like Rashford could be an absolute gem for this career mode, and he is the one out of any of the guys we're looking to bring in that I really want in. He's the one I want the most. Alright, here's Wolfsburg have accepted the 4 million, and Ake has accepted his contract. So we'll go and we'll accept Ake's contract, bring him into the club, welcome Nathan Ake, a brilliant left back for the team, and on top of that, we can now, wrong button. We can now go and accept the Wolfsburg offer him up a contract. 30's all you want, 30's what you'll get, 5 years, and that will put him to 29 years old, which hopefully will mean he will have grown and become a lot better player, and I feel like he's going to be a fantastic signing, should he accept that deal. Upon our next transfer signing, I think we're going to have to end it here. Here we go. Asoro has accepted a great young striker who we should be able to send out on loan again, possibly bring in someone else to do the first team job like Rashford with one of the strikers we already have. He can go out on loan for a season, get some experience, come back and might be able to be a first team player. And you know what, we're going to go until Rashford's deal is done. And if we accept this, we might be a bit tight on funds, I feel. So I'm going to stall that deal because assuming that Rashford does accept, then we will be a bit short for cash and we'll have to play around with the budget. Here we go. Marcus Rashford has indeed accepted. Fantastic. Let's confirm that. Marcus Rashford, welcome to the club. Our new super signing. Hopefully, the best player we're going to have this season comes along to the club. We're not going to need this guy anymore either. So, goodbye, Gray. Unfortunately, you've been rejected. You can stay at Burnley. And the new signing arriving. I'm going to quickly clear up my inbox. And then I think it's going to be time for us to end the episode. We'll have a quick look at the team and see how the lineup looks now that we've brought in a few transfers. Here is how the first team is looking. And Rashford's the only one to make a change to the starting lineup so far. However, I feel like if we can manage to bring in one or two more players, I feel like maybe a first team left mid, or actually, looking at the reserves, Atsu looks like the perfect player to bring in here. You know, Atsu looks like my kind of player. Let's just have a quick look. I mean, who doesn't love a bit of speed? And on top of that, he has some fairly well-rounded stats. He's got a few stats that you look at and think, you know what, that's pretty shocking. But some other stats that look alright. And he's got three different positions that he can play, which is also fantastic. And him with Richie on the other side should be a fantastic wing partnership. We have some players down on the bench who... Gulfran can play right and left mid, which is fine. Rolando Aarons can only play on one side. Ake is going to be on the bench as our backup left back. And that's how the substitutes and the first team lineup looks so far. Hopefully with some more signings we can further the team and make them even better. Maybe bring in a better defender. Maybe look to bring in someone attacking mid that I've just realised I'd completely forgotten about and would actually be quite happy to bring into this team. But this is going to do us for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the first episode. I'll see you guys next time.